Hi, welcome to the exam collection. We've got a new set of 6 questions for you to work on. They're all non-calculator, so all handwritten methods are needed for these. So if you've done this before, you know the drill. If not, it's just a pause and play for the solution type video. So hit pause and press play once you've had a go at that question. Okay, so 360 is shared in this ratio, and we've got to work out the difference between the largest and the smallest. So first thing we're going to do is rewrite that ratio and consider that 360. That 360 doesn't belong in any of those columns, which means it's going to have its own column. So this is the invisible column method. We have a total to share, so it's a total column. The ratio adds to 9, and the total in the question is 360. How do I get from 9 to 360? I times by 40, so I do the same over here. That's going to give me 40, 120, and 200. I'm actually only interested in the largest and smallest. It's the difference, so 200. Take 40, and there's your final answer. Now, your method may be slightly different. This is just what I do with my class in school. As long as you've got your method down and it's clear and your answer is 160, you will be getting full marks. Okay, next question. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so to answer this question, I really just need to see the sequence that these rules generate. So I'm going to take the 3n minus 2, and I am going to put the number 1 in, then I'm going to put the number 2 in, and the number 3 in, and I'm going to build a picture of the sequence. So when 1 goes in, I have got 3 times 1, which is 3, take 2 is 1. So I'm going to write it over here so that it's not getting caught up with everything else I've written down. Now, 3 times 1 minus 2 would be sensible to show because it's the maths that we did. 3 times 2 is 6, take 2 is 4. Now, I could keep going like that, or I could see that it's going up 3, and I could just write just a couple more just to get a feel for it. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with my 10 minus 2n. So again, that 1 is going to go in where the n is, then the 2, then the 3. So 10 minus 2 times 1 is 10 take 2, which is 8. And then 10 minus 2 times 2, which is 10 take 4, which is 6. I could keep going or spot that pattern is now decreasing by 2. And I've got a feel for that one. So one is increasing, the other is decreasing. Sally says there is only one number that is in both sequences, and we can see that that is true. 4 is the only number. And obviously, because these are getting bigger and these are getting smaller, there's no way we're going to see any more. And that's how you would explain your answer. Yes, she's right. 4 is in both, but the more you can say, the better. You know, one is going up, the other's going down. There won't be any more. Okay. Right, next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, as always, we need to get these so that they are in a more mathematical representation. We don't really work in sentences in maths. We try and work as much as possible. So we've got red, blue, and yellow. So I've got red, blue, and yellow. And then I'm just going to start putting some of that information out. So 15% are red. So that's all I know at the moment. So that's what I'm going to put there. 2/5 are blue. So I know that. And the rest are yellow. Now, I don't know that as a fraction. I don't know that as a percentage, but it's going to be really useful for me to know that so that I can make better use of the fact that there are 27 yellow counters. So my first job here is to really think about this. I want to get this as a percentage. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can do that. The best way, I think, is to get the denominator so that it's 100. 100 out of 100 means percentage. Percentage means out of 100. So if I can do that, which is easy to do because I can just times by 20, do the same on the top. 2 times 20 is 40. And I can actually see that that is 40%. That helps me find the yellow as a percentage because obviously all together, they're going to be 100%. So 100% take away 55%, which is my red and blue together, is giving me the yellows at 45%. Doing that, getting that so that they're all in the same will help. I also know that the yellows have 27 counters. And I've got to work out how many blue there are. So I know this fact that there are 27 counters for 45%. This could be a boxes and labels question. I want to know what 40% is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can set that up and do it. But it's a little bit more work than I'd need to do. So probably the best way to approach this would be to think, okay, I want to get to 40. So if I divide my 45 down by 9, that would get me 5%. And if I divide that down by 9, it would get me 3. And you can see why I chose 5% over 1% because they come out with nice whole numbers. Times that through now by 8 because I want to get to 40. And I can see that 40% is 24. So my answer is 24 blues. Okay. Now, that's not the only way to get around this. These types of questions can follow different routes, and some people bar model. We use boxes and labels a lot of the time, but it's all linked to proportion. Okay. Next one. There you go. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so when I read that first line, I read the word regular pentagons. Regular is absolutely key in seeing in the question and in triggering a formula triangle. So 360 is going at the top, exterior and side is going on the bottom. That is the formula that links to regular, and I really need to get my brain to draw that the minute I read the word. They're telling me that 2 pentagons are regular, they are the same size, they are clearly overlapping each other, which makes it hard to see. So if you've got a highlighter, then really sensible to just highlight one so it really stands out, and then it helps the other one stand out as well, even though it doesn't have any color on it. So pentagons are 5-sided shapes. I'm going to do 360 divided by sides, 5. And obviously I can do that because it's non-calculator straight into my bus shelter. Wherever there's a division, there's a bus shelter. Okay. 5s into 3 don't go. 5s into 36 go 7, remainder 1, and 5s into 10 go 2. So exterior is 72. And it's really important that we do not forget that 360 divided by sides makes the exterior. Now go to your diagram, extend a line, and mark that exterior on. The minute you do that, it just lends itself naturally to using the straight line rule to find this one. So 180 takes 72 is 108. You write everything down as you go, and you mark all the angles that you find onto your diagram because it could then lead you to the next thing. All right. So I now know that the inside of my regular pentagon is 108, which means all the angles, even these ones over here, all the angles are 108. So now we're getting to the diamond. We know that this here is 108, and we know that this here is 108. We can use the fact, and I'm just going to get a different color, use the blue again, that we've got a quadrilateral here. So we're going to now do 360, take away those two 108s, okay, which is 216, to leave me 144. That 144 needs to be shared out between this angle and this angle. So we're going to divide by 2 to give me 72 degrees. So I know that that's 72, that's 72. I'm being asked to find EAH. EAH is this angle just here. So I'm going to do a little bit of rubbing out so that you can see clearly what's happening in this next stage, okay? So I'm just going to rub that bit out there. I want to find EH, just that bit there. Now I've got everything I need to answer this question because I know all of that is the inside, the interior of my pentagon. So that's 108. I know that this bit here is 72. Did I? Yes, I'm just double checking. So much work there. So if I take that 72 away from the 108, it will leave me that little bit there, which is the bit they want me to find. And that is 36 degrees. Whoops, we're falling behind me. So 36 degrees is my answer to that question. All right. It's a big question. It's a grade 5 question. There's a lot happening. Okay. You've got to show how you get your answer. So if you were to just guess 36 and it be a lucky guess with nothing to back it up, you probably won't even get that mark. They want all the detail. So write everything down as you go. If you got that right, really, really well done. We should have another one. Let's just see. There we go. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. All right, so our keyword estimate needs to be spotted. Then that tells us to round everything. So I've got 7 times 200, and then that's going to round to 0.05. So the top will become 1400, and there's not much else happening apart from that for the denominator. Now, this is where the work comes in because we've got to obviously do that division, and I can't divide by 0.05, so I want to make that a whole number. So I'm going to times by 100, bottom and top, because I've got to keep it equivalent. So that's another 2 zeros here, and that will take that to a 5, which is perfect because it means that I can easily put that into my bus shelter. So I've got to divide, and if I've got to divide, I've got to use my bus shelter because it's non-calculator. So 5s into 1 don't go. So that carries over. And now I've got 5s into 14. So 5s into 14 go 2, remainder 4. 5s into 40 go 8 exactly. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros to bring up. So my answer is 28,000. Okay. All right. Next question. Non-calculator, hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so I think one of the biggest problems with this question is the fact that it's just a worded story and there's no diagram or anything to hinge our maths to. And we don't work in sentences, we work in numbers and symbols and diagrams. So the closer I can get to that, the better. So I'm just going to draw myself a straight line, and I'm going to say that A is at the beginning of my journey, Appleton. And then I'm going to just stick a B there for broccoli and C there. Okay. And then I'm going to add the information to this diagram. So I know that A to B has a speed of 50 miles per hour. B to C is 70 miles per hour. He takes a total time of 5 hours to travel the whole distance. So I could show that maybe by doing something like this. Okay. And the distance from B to C is 210. And I could put the miles on if I wanted to as well. So what I've done, I don't actually know what the question is yet, but what I've done is I've put all the information that they've given me straight into a diagram so that it's starting to talk to me better. I've got to calculate the average speed for the total distance. Okay, so this is a speed and distance time, which means I'm going to be using my formula triangle. Okay, I want to work out the average speed. Speed is found by doing distance divided by time. And because I want the average speed for the total distance from A to C, I need the distance and the time for A to C. And the distance is missing here. So I know this distance, but I need this distance. All right. I can't work out that distance without 2 pieces of information. So I am going to start off by working out how long this part of the journey took. I need 2 pieces of information to find the third. And over here, I just don't have enough information to actually find this. So that's going to be my first job. I have got my speed and I've got my distance. Okay. So I'm going to be doing distance divided by speed because I'm trying to find the time, remember. I can cross those off. 7 into 21, go 3. So I know that this part from B to C was 3 hours, which means that this part was 2 hours. And I am now able to find the distance because I've got 2 pieces of information. All right, the distance is found by doing speed times time. So we've got a speed of 50. We are timesing that through by 2, and that gives me 100. So I now know that the distance traveled in this section is 100 miles. So let's just move that up a little bit. So my total distance, okay, is 100 plus 210, which is 310. My total time was 5. They did tell us that at the beginning. So my speed is distance, 310 divided by 5. And I've got a bus shelter to do again. If I've got a division, I've got a bus shelter. 5s into 3 don't go. 5s into 31 goes 6, remainder 1. And 5s into 10, sorry, go 2. So 62 miles per hour is the answer on that one. So again, it's a big question. It's quite often, you know, right at the very end, grade 5, you can't take shortcuts. You can't just add and divide by 2 or anything like that. Excuse me. So you do have to work your way all the way through that. Okay, hopefully you have found that useful. That is all our questions for this particular video. I'll have another one up for you very, very soon. If you are finding them helpful in getting ready for these exams, do subscribe because new videos are always going up all the time. And thank you for using Targetmaths to help you prepare for these exams.